In 2011, record-breaking tornadoes raked across the grounds of Alabama and Georgia. In 2010, one of the largest earthquakes the world has ever seen shattered the grounds in Haiti. And in 2009, the Great Atlantic Flood surged through unsuspecting cities and neighborhoods. Are all of these natural disasters connected to something greater, or is Mother Nature just unpredictable at times? Most experts would agree that these natural disasters are caused by global warming. And the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency says that global warming is caused by greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases are gases that are emitted into the atmosphere and they trap the heat from the sun, not allowing it to escape. Some gases are good and needed to sustain life on Earth because they trap the heat, and otherwise we would freeze to death. The problem we are facing is an abundance of greenhouse gases, which causes the greenhouse gas effect. This greenhouse gas effect can be shown as like a car on a hot summer's day. The sun's heat heats up the air inside the car, not allowing it to escape, and the air inside of that car just gets hotter and hotter. Same thing happens with the Earth. It heats up the air inside of our atmosphere, and these greenhouse gases trap that hot air, not allowing it to escape, becoming hotter and hotter, causing the greenhouse gas effect, which causes global warming, which can melt polar ice caps and cause severe weather damage. We will show global warming in this Mechanics of Global Warming diagram. It begins with humans burning fossil fuel. Fossil fuel is made up of dead plants and animals from centuries ago. This burning of fossil fuels increases the atmospheric carbon, or greenhouse gases. It's not the only cause of greenhouse gases. They can also be caused by landfills and cutting down rainforests. These greenhouse gases cause a rise in air temperature and then a rise in sea temperature, which then melts the polar ice caps, Greenland, Antarctica, and other polar regions. The melting of these polar ice caps can affect plants, animals, and even humans. The National Wildlife Federation says that one of the most affected animal species is the polar bear. They call these polar ice caps home. And in the summer of their hunting season, when these melt farther and farther away from their normal grounds, they have to swim farther and farther out. They're finding many drowned polar bears and some who are starved because they don't even attempt to swim. And that National Wildlife Federation says that in 2050, 2/3 of that polar bear population will be depleted. Many of these polar animals are having to find new migratory patterns because of the climate change, which then affects the civilizations who live in Alaska and Canada and hunt these animals. The melting of these polar ice caps can also cause a thermohaline current change. The thermohaline current is like the ocean's conveyor belt. And this thermohaline current mixes the waters from the polar of the north and the south in the middle. And it just moves the water around, which moves the cold air and the warm air around, which ultimately causes our climate. A change in this current can cause a change in the climate that we are used to and causes more severe weather patterns. More severe weather patterns, such as hotter weather, can cause fire, droughts, and even heat waves, which can cause death. More severe weather patterns can also cause hurricanes, because these warmer waters pump energy into tropical storms. And the Natural Resource Defense Council says that in 2005 was our record Atlantic hurricane season. We had 27 named storms, 15 were hurricane, 5 were Category 4, and 4 were Category 5, which are all record-breaking hurricanes. These severe weather patterns can be caused by a rise in air temperature. A rise in air temperature, again, melts polar ice caps, which can cause a rise in sea levels. And a rise in sea levels will soon swallow low-lying islands and coastlines. The melting of these also is a loss of solar reflectivity. Solar reflectivity is when the sun reflects off of the polar ice caps, but when the global warming or greenhouse gases melt these polar ice caps, they turn to water, and then that water absorbs the sun energy rather than reflecting it back into the atmosphere, which cools the Earth, and with less ice, our Earth gets hotter. And 20 years of NASA study has shown that the Antarctic temperatures are on the rise, which is bad because we are losing our reflectivity. And losing reflectivity rises air temperature and again causes more severe weather patterns. The easiest way to break this cycle is to go green. Going green is the Earth's best defense. We can walk, commute, and ride our bikes to wherever we go. Use less electricity, use less hot water, and always reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reduce, reuse, and recycle limits the amount of waste that we are putting in landfills. Global warming can cause a lot of natural disasters because of the melting of the polar ice caps and other greenhouse gas effects. No generation wants to be the cause of global warming, but everyone wants to be the end of it. So going green is the Earth's best defense.